Live from the opening ceremonies of Richmond 2015, you're watching 8 News on the Move. Coverage sponsored by VCU Health.
Good evening, and thanks for joining us tonight. 8 News is on the move. You're looking at Browns Island, where this evening the UCI Road World Championships will hold their opening ceremonies.
And there are 12,000 people who are expected to be here for the big event. Many more thousands of folks coming this way over the next 9 days.
We thank you for being with us this evening. I'm Juan Condi.
I'm Christina Fierick.
I'm Amy
We have
Lacey
a lot
here
more
in the
going on.
8 News
Amy's right
studio.
there.
That's right. I'm here in the studio, Juan. We're all here together, even though we're a little bit apart.
Yes, we are, and we'll go back to Amy in just a moment with more news where you live. But tonight's big story, obviously, is the UCI race. And tonight's opening ceremony is going to be attended by 12,000 people. Unfortunately, you may not be one of them. It was a ticketed event, and all the tickets are gone. If you are coming down here, it begins at 6:30 p.m. Here's what you cannot bring. Pets, with the exception of service animals, coolers, large bags, bicycles, oddly, or skateboards.
Now, there are a few things that you can bring if you are headed this way. You can bring a sealed bottle of water. Also, a chair or a blanket might be a good idea. There's a lot of fun going out here tonight.
All right, so this is all about bike racing, and we've got bike racing news for you this evening. Some bad news. Chris Froome, who's a 2-time Tour de France championship winner, will not be at this year's UCI Road World Championships. You see him right there. He broke his foot.
We learned today also Mark Cavendish, one of the world's most popular British cyclists. He is also pulled out of the race. Cavendish tweeting this morning that he's unable to race because of a shoulder injury. He sustained that at the Tour of Britain last week. Cavendish, of course, considered one of the most top contenders for the UCI race. He won the world title back in 2011. A lot of folks are very disappointed about that news.
All right, so injuries are always a problem in sport, but what about if you're a bike rider and don't have a bike?
That's happened here, sadly, here in Richmond, Virginia. Somebody's bike was stolen. All right, news reporter Mark Tenya has the latest now live from police.
Yes, obviously this is not the way that Richmond wanted UCI to be kicked off. Richmond police say that the bike was stolen last night from the Marriott here on Broad Street, and they actually have camera pictures of this man. Now, this man wearing a fedora and jean shorts, a white t-shirt, and tennis shoes came into the hotel around 6:30 last night, where they believe he took the bike. Detectives say the suspect is between 35 and 40 years old and weighs around 190 pounds. Here's a picture of the bike that was stolen. It is a black Specialized S-Works bicycle with white lettering. The bike belongs to Team Netherlands and is valued at more than $10,000. Now, police are obviously trying to find out who took this bike and try and recover that bike as well. They're asking anyone with any information to call Crime Stoppers. Our team coverage continues now with 8 News reporter Jonathan Costin, who's been tracking the parking mess down here in Richmond.
Well, folks are quite naturally pumped up about this race, from the folks who are competing to people who make a living selling bikes. But some of the people who live near all this, because of the parking situation, well, they're not too thrilled about it. A headache for some folks who live on the 600 block of North Allison near Monument. Police say because of a possible sign slip-up of not posting any warnings, at least 3 vehicles were towed this morning. After realizing that, owners were immediately reintroduced to their vehicles free of charge. In the meantime, some residents say they're noticing they have to park further away from their home in the Fan.
Yes, there's a couple more. Actually, I couldn't find a good spot this afternoon.
In Carytown, we caught members of the Germany team getting a last-minute tune-up, and that includes the guy who is expected to be in the top 5 finishers. John Degenkolb gives Richmond a thumbs up.
It's a great place. It's a great hospitality from the people here. They are so friendly. Very, you really feel that they enjoy and love to have this big event in town.
Richmond has come a long way in the biking community. Just ask Tim Mullins, the co-owner of Carytown Bicycle Company.
I've been riding since '89, and it's come a long way since then. Just in the last 2 to 3 years, I've seen more awareness and more people riding. We sell a lot of bikes.
But the native Richmonder and businessman says the city still has some ground to make up. Are we behind other cities?
Not somewhat, we are. But this awareness, it's going to bring Richmond. Last year, I was out in Colorado Springs and Portland, Seattle, and we're about 20 years behind that.
Well, despite lagging other cities in bicycling, coming up at 6 o'clock, I'll tell you what one local hotel is doing to ride the wave of bicycling. Reporting live, Jonathan Costin, 8 News.
And we have much more from Browns Island coming up in just a moment. Of course, we have team coverage, lots of reporters spread all over the area.
That's how we do things at 8 News.
On the move.
Really, let's go to 8 News reporter Matthew McClellan, who's talking about the fun that you can have during the UCI Road World Championships. Matthew?
Hey, Juan. Yeah, such a great time to be had tonight. The gates were set to open at about 5:30, but some folks just couldn't wait. As you can see, people have taken their chairs, getting the best seats possible for this opening ceremony. Again, you can just really feel the energy in the air. And of course, the main event is the cycling, seeing these world-class athletes come in on their bikes, flags waving in the air. But another thing people are really excited about tonight is the music. The Richmond Symphony set to take the stage tonight. 65 world-class musicians all on one stage. Also, American Idol finalist Rayvon Owen, a Richmond native, is also going to be performing the national anthem before the symphony takes the stage. Here's what you can expect from those performances.
We just want this to be a very celebratory event for not only the city of Richmond, but also the world. I mean, the world comes to Richmond, so we just want to celebrate that and make sure everybody has a great time while they're here.
And again, another thing to note is the state-of-the-art stage and tent that they now have for the Richmond Symphony. This is the first time we have seen it. It took a long time to set it up, a lot of hard work there. So we're excited to see those musicians take the stage. Also, state, local, and federal elected officials are going to be here, as well as UCI President Brian Cookson. Another thing to look forward to, a parade of flags representing every country that's going to be here the next 2 weeks, I should say. And also, teenagers are going to be leading in Team USA. So a lot to look forward to. Keep it right here with our live coverage of what's going to be a very exciting night. Matthew McClellan, 8 News.
All right, thank you very much, Matthew. Richmond school kids indeed getting involved in UCI this year. They designed the flags that they'll be carrying this evening at the opening ceremonies. Of course, nearly 70 countries will be represented in this international competition. How cool is that? Good going, Richmond school children.
We are proud of them, and our favorite restaurants also hoping to cash in on the UCI bike race. At Olio and the fan new menus will welcome guests in several different languages. Starting Monday, the restaurant will be open early, 7 a.m. for breakfast. Capital Ale House downtown, it's usually known for its burgers and beers, but starting this weekend, the restaurant will be serving breakfast during the big bike race. Capital Ale House opening at 9 a.m. every day during the race. Other restaurants extending hours for UCI, Comfort, and also On the Rocks.
The best way to stay on track, ha ha ha, as they say in cycling during the UCI Road World Championships, is with an app. The UCI app has live videos, interactive maps, schedules, the official results of races, information about the cyclists themselves, and you can find it all at the Richmond 2015 website, which we have a link to for you at WRIC.com.
And from Browns Island right here to the finish line on Broad Street, 8 News has team coverage of the UCI Road World Championships.
All right, it's time for a look at other news tonight where you live.
Let's go back to Amy Lacey. She's in our 8 News studio. Amy?
Christina, we'll check in with you in just a few moments. Right now, we have new details in Chesterfield. The man accused of killing former Altria employee Layla Namaranian now has an attorney. 3 years after she disappeared, police are charging Namaranian's ex-boyfriend Michael Edwards with first-degree murder. Namaranian's body has never been found. Also news where you live in Chesterfield, the fire marshals have determined unattended cooking in the kitchen caused the house fire on Brixham Drive this morning. Fire crews found a man dead inside just before 1 a.m. Crews tell us one firefighter was hurt. He is expected to be okay. This home, though, a total loss. In Richmond, a woman is still recovering after being shot at the intersection of 25th and P Streets. This all happened around 9:45 last night. Officers are looking for the person who shot her. If you know anything, you're urged to call police. And we do want to take another live look as final preparations are underway for the big UCI race. John, how's the weather holding up out there? We have a lot of folks joining us from other countries this evening.
We do, and outside this evening, everything is picture perfect for that. Still pretty mild for us out there. Temperatures checking in at 83 degrees outside. That's 28 degrees Celsius for us here. 85 degrees Washington, 74 down in Norfolk. very comfortable evening for you tonight. So let's talk about what's going on tomorrow. We have the team time trial training that's going on in the morning, as you can see, with mostly sunny skies and temperatures jumping up to 82, 27 degrees C by noon. Individual time trial training in the afternoon. 86 degrees will be the temperature at 3 p.m. Well, that's 30 degrees Celsius. That'll be our high for the day. And then as we look at the men's elite team time trial on Sunday, more clouds over the area, a little cooler. And when they start off, it'll be about 79. We'll top out at 81 or 27 C.
Coming up, more than 100,000 water bottles sold at Target have been recalled. What you need to look for still ahead. Plus, the mystery behind the case of Baby Doe has been solved, it seems. Up next, we take a look at new details surrounding the case. You are watching 8 News at 5, covering the news where you live, from Doswell to Libby Hill, 2 places that will see plenty of UCI action over the coming days. Stay with us. 8 News at 5 is back in just a moment. We're on the move.
Welcome back. 8 News is on the move on this glorious Friday here in the capital city. It's great to have you with us. Juan Conde and Christina Fury broadcasting live from Browns Island. And that is a shot of Browns Island, where the opening ceremony for the UCI World Championships will begin at 6:30 this evening. Preparations underway across town, including the finish line downtown.
That's right. They've been putting the final touches on the finish line. That's right next to the finish line for the UCI bike race. Of course, that's on Broad Street.
One of the best places to see all the action is down there, but there are plenty of other places where you can catch the cyclists passing by and grab the excitement of an international cycling competition.
We're going to let you know exactly where they are. Up first, number 1 is Libby Hill Park. The cobblestone area near the park will be a grueling uphill portion of the course. You can just sit back and watch the cyclists go. Organizers say anywhere on Monument Avenue also be a prime spot.
Monument's always a prime location. Another good location, Broad Street down by Governor Street. That's right next to VCU Medical Center. And don't forget, you have to have, excuse me, you have to have tickets to get into the grandstand area at the finish line. But you can stand around outside that and still get a pretty good view. Organizers remind everyone that 90% of all of the best areas are absolutely free.
And some of our school kids, they are getting involved in this as well. The whole city's really gotten involved. Huguenot High School is ready for the races with an international display created by the English as a Second Language department. This includes photos, the race route, and features the countries of the school's ESL students. You can see the Columbia flag hanging right there because a student from Huguenot will actually be carrying that flag at the opening ceremonies. We will have much more from Browns Island in just a few moments, so make sure you stay with us. But first, we want to send it back to Amy Lacey. She's in our studio with more news.
I have some national news now, Christina. The girl who was called Baby Doe, her body was found in a bag on a beach in Boston Harbor, has now been identified. ABC's Elizabeth Herr has the latest.
This is the computer-generated composite photo of the little girl that captivated the hearts of so many across the country. And after it was shared and viewed online more than 60 million times, authorities now say her identity is no longer a mystery.
Yeah, Bella is in fact the name. You're right. That's correct.
It was back in June. A woman found little Bella's body in a trash bag on a beach in Boston Harbor. At the time, investigators had little to go on, so police turned to the public and social media, sharing this sketch and pictures of her zebra blanket and pajama pants. And finally, a huge break thanks to a tip.
Some of the information we developed over the last couple of days in cooperation with the state police led us to Maxwell Street.
Police are releasing few details, but state officials say Baby Bella had 2 previous contacts with child welfare officials. Both cases investigated and closed by 2013.
Appears as though it was a situation of a boyfriend who was involved, and that apparently I think mother and boyfriend started blaming each other in terms of who harmed the child.
And so while authorities continue their investigation, there's no word yet on any charges in this case. And we are told the medical examiner's office is now working to confirm the ID and determine the exact cause of death. Elizabeth Herr, ABC News, New York.
Just about time to let the races begin. Most of the cyclists are here. There's still some of the ones that are competing in the individual events next week still yet to arrive in the country. Live look down at Browns Island, where, as you can see, they're getting ready for the opening ceremonies going on tonight, and it's very pleasant out there. Temperatures, as you can see, low to mid 80s over us, although up in Ashland it's cooled down in Hanover County Air Park to 78 degrees right now. We're 83. Nothing to talk about really here on the satellite photo, just a few fair weather clouds over us. Little showers sitting off the coastline of down around North Carolina and some other showers in the Midwest. And more action right out here. This is the cold front that's coming in our direction, producing storms over the Midwest. You kind of see it's lined up right through here. Cooler air behind it, stormy right along the front, and that little wave of low pressure here. Here's another little area we need to watch. It's sitting off the southeast coastline. It's got a lot of clouds, a lot of moisture associated with it, and it may kick some moisture back in over us here at the end of the weekend. And the National Hurricane Center's got at least keep an eye on it and keep watching it to see what happens. For tonight, temperatures head down to the lower 60s for us across central Virginia, so a great-looking evening on tap for you. We're looking at a few clouds around, 77 degrees at 8 p.m., down to 62 overnight. We'll start you off with sunshine tomorrow. Clouds will pick up in the afternoon, so it looks pretty good. 82 degrees at noon, a toasty 86 for your high temperature. That's 30 degrees Celsius. We're going to be getting cooler after that over the next couple of days. Here's the weather map in motion. Mostly sunny skies greet you tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Pretty good day for us here. We'll have some clouds passing by. This is the last warm day of this stretch. And then here comes the front on the way in here. By Sunday, it brings some clouds in. We'll start the day off partly cloudy, and I think we'll turn mostly cloudy in the afternoon with cooler weather coming in during the race on Sunday afternoon and into Sunday evening. And you're going to notice cooler temperatures as we look at the 8-day forecast through next week. 81 degrees on Sunday. Monday, a chance of a shower. 74 degrees, which could affect some of the individual time trial races. The big individual time trial race on Wednesday afternoon right now. Partly sunny, dry, 77. Another chance of rain on Thursday into Friday.
Coming up, Richmond Animal Care and Control is looking for forever homes for some pets. When we come back, we will tell you how you can snag a new pet, a very deserving one, for a great deal. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And remember, you can become a part of the 8 News team. Reach out to us during breaking news and severe weather. Share your photos, videos, and story ideas by emailing iReport8@WRIC.com or call our hotline anytime, 330-8000.
Welcome back to 8 News on the Move. Here's an 8 News consumer alert for you. Zach Designs is recalling 170,000 water bottles sold to Target because they can pose a choking hazard. And here's the problem. The straw that comes out of the top of that cup, well, it can break off on the 26-ounce water bottle model and choke a person. The company's received about 7 reports of this happening. If you have one of these Zach water bottles, contact Zach Designs. They'll give you a free replacement.
In other consumer news, Verizon is now offering cell service roaming services in Cuba. The cell phone provider is the first wireless company to allow customers to make calls, text, and use data on the island. Verizon has set up roaming agreements with Cuban telecom companies, but this is really going to cost you. Phone calls are $2.99 a minute, data over $2 per megabyte, and texts, they are charged at international rates. That's your consumer news from here on Browns Island. We'll have much more UCI in just a moment, but first, let's go back to Amy in the studio.
And Juan, Christina, I have a question for you. How old is too old to be president? For many decades, age has come into question in presidential races, especially this time around. That's because there are several candidates who are nearly or older than 70. Hillary Clinton will be 69 at the time of the election. Jim Webb and Donald Trump will be 70. George Pataki, 71. And the oldest man in the race, Bernie Sanders, would be 75 if elected. In case you're wondering, a candidate must be at least 35 years old to run at all. News where you live in Richmond, where Richmond Animal Care and Control is full and need your help finding a home for some four-legged friends all weekend long. Adoptions for cats and dogs will be $20. That includes spaying and neutering, vaccines, and a microchip. For more information, you can head to WRIC.com. Just click on links mentioned. As we head to break now, it is time to reveal our special keyword of the day. It is Blitz. With UCI action, we can't forget about all the football action, too. Enter Blitz at rewards.WRIC.com. Earn 2,500 points to play games or win prizes. 8 News on the Move returns after a quick break. Welcome back. A brand new half hour of 8 News is just a few minutes away, and here's a look at some of the big stories we're following for you. Pope Francis will be getting a special cup of joe when he arrives in the U.S. next week. Hear from the man who created the Pontiff's special coffee. Kristen?
Talk about brazen. Henrico police are looking for a man they say has robbed 3 West End businesses in broad daylight over the past 2 days. But wait till you hear why he says he needs the money. I'm Kristen Smith with that story at 5:30.
College football tomorrow here across Central Virginia. We start off with Mr. Jefferson School taking on Mr. Jefferson's alma mater, UVA versus William & Mary. Kickoff temperature checking in at 84 degrees. The Hokies are out taking on the Boilermakers out in Purdue, 71 degrees. Looks like could be some rain at that game, and your Spiders taking on VMI, 84 degrees at the 6 p.m. kickoff. A beautiful afternoon outside here across Central Virginia as you look live at Browns Island, where the UCI opening ceremony starts in just about an hour. We're back right after this.